Good morning, my dear kids. How are you all? I hope you all are good and safe at your places. Welcome back in our social studies class. Students, we know that our earth is like a giant ball. In previous chapter, we already learned that the surface of the earth is covered with land and water. Three-fourths of the surface is covered with water and rest one-fourth of the surface is land. My dear students, we live in the country named India. It is our motherland. It is one of the most beautiful countries in the world. It is the seventh largest country in the world in area and the second largest country in the world in population. So today we are going to read our next chapter, chapter number 11, Mountains and Valleys. As you know that only a small part of the earth's surface is land. We live on land and grow our food on it. The land is not the same everywhere. In some places it is high and in other it is low. This gives the Earth's surface different features called landforms. Mountains, valleys, plains, and plateaus are examples of landforms. Did you understand that? The land is not everywhere the same. At some places there are hills and mountains. At the other places there are plateaus and plains. Some places are forest while others are deserts. Now let's see what these different forms of land are. First is mountains. A mountain is a landform that rises very high above the land around it. It has steep sides. Steep means slanting, and a pointed top called the peak. The peaks of very high mountains are covered with snow. Mountains that are not very high are called hills. Alright, a high land with a round top is called a hill, while very high hills with sharp tops are called mountains. Here, tops are peaks of the mountain and hills. Mostly peaks of the very high mountains are covered with snow. That's why these regions remain cold throughout the year. A large number of mountains often lie along a long line. They form a mountain range or mountain chain. The Himalaya is a mountain range. It has some of the tallest mountains in the world. Mount Everest in the Himalaya is the world's highest peak. It is on the Nepal-China's border. Okay. The snow collected in mountain ranges often melts into water. The water flows down as river. The Ganga and the Yamuna are rivers that flow down from the Himalaya. Okay, these rivers originate in these mountains and flow down as these are formed by the melting snow. Class, hill stations are towns in hills or mountains. Many people visit hill stations in summer to get a temporary relief from heat of the sun. In hilly areas, the temperature remains favorable. It is not freezing cold in hill stations during summer season, and thus any group of people can enjoy the beauty of nature. Some hill stations in India are as follows: Manali, Shimla, Kufri in Himachal Pradesh, Mount Abu in Rajasthan, Pahalgaon, Srinagar, Gulmarg in Jammu and Kashmir, Mussoorie, Nainital, Almora in Uttarakhand, Khandala, Panchgani, Lonavala in Maharashtra. We have lots of places to visit in summer vacations. Now come to the chapter. Our next landform is valleys. A valley is the low land between hills or mountains. A very deep area of land between two hills or mountains is called a valley. Often a river flows through a valley. India has many beautiful valleys such as Kashmir and the Silent Valley. Our next landform is plains. A plain is a large flat land. So, a large area of flat land is called a plain. It has a smooth surface, but it is not as smooth as your school's playground or a garden. Got it? Plains often have soil brought down by rivers. This soil is good for farming. Roads, railways, and houses can be built easily on plains. So, most people live on plains, and most cities of the world are on plains. The rivers Ganga and Yamuna flow through a large plain. Delhi, Lucknow, Varanasi, Patna, and Kolkata are some of the big cities on this plain. Okay, our next landform is plateau. A plateau is a flat land that is higher than the land around it. It is like a table, so it is also called a tableland. The Deccan Plateau is a large plateau in India. Alright, have you got this point? Listen. The southern part of India has a flat and uneven surface. The land is higher than the surrounding plains. This type of high landform is called a plateau. This area is less fertile than plains. It covers the largest part of India and it is called the Southern Plateau and also known as the Deccan Plateau. There are also many rivers in Deccan Plateau, but they depends on the rain for water. Some parts of the plateau are covered with thick forest. The plateau of Tibet is the highest and the biggest plateau in the world. All right, class, now here's the main points of this chapter. The earth's surface has different kinds of landforms such as mountains, valleys, plains and plateaus. A mountain is a landform that rises very high above the land around it. A small mountain is called a hill. A large number of mountains lying along a line is called a mountain range. A valley is the low land between hills or mountains. A plain is a large flat land. A plateau is a flat land that is higher than the land around it. Okay, that's all for today. Your chapter is over. Kindly read the chapter 11 carefully and fill the bookwork. Bye. Take care.